if the goal isn't to be better than we were yesterday, and we can't encourage each other to be better, man, I don't want you around me.
Right.
You know, and even with this podcast, this is big. We are empowering each other.
Right.
And so, you know, I would want to be a part of this any day.
Right.
You know, just because of what it's creating for not only us, but other people
who listen to it.
Right. So this is therapy.
Yeah, we are examples for others, man. You never know who you're gonna reach out. Hey man, I like these ink pens, man.
I ordered them all the way from
straight. Let me see. Can I write a ticket with this? You want this?
Somebody got it.
But I ordered them off of somewhere. I think I ordered them off of Amazon, but they come from like China or something.
Yeah.
Got a little Chinese writing on them.
Japan.
Yep.
Shout out Japan.
Yep. Hey. Y'all boys ready?
Let's do it, man.
Always.
Let's do it. Hey, I'm probably gonna mess up somewhere, but you know what though?
That's what it's for.
It is what it is, bro.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yes,
share.
like and subscribe because the YouTube algorithm is something funny.
Yeah.
If you like the content, smash the like button.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way other people will know that we are even here.
And subscribe if you want to keep seeing us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll be up on your timeline.
Yeah. So, yo, this is your boy Justin Hill, and this is the Badges Off podcast. I'm here with James West and Justin Reed.
How y'all doing?
And today, we talking about purpose. Like, real purpose. Like, why did God create you? Like, why are you here? Are you just here to be here?
Right.
Or did God handcraft you with a purpose in mind?
Okay.
But before we even do that, I want to shout out my guy, Verteris Bryant, with 1104 LLC. He's our guy who created the logo.
Yeah.
Anytime that I've ever had some kind of wild and crazy idea, V has always been, we call him V, he has always been like, dude, I got you. Yeah. He don't charge me an arm and a leg. Mm-hmm. He create the logo, and whether or not that wild and crazy idea come to fruition for real or not, it don't even matter. V always look out, and he always do a good job. He's a great graphic designer. Yeah. I just wanted to shout him out.
Shout out to V, man.
Right. His Instagram is at 1104 on Instagram. That's at E1EVEN on Instagram at 1104. Verteris Bryant, a.k.a. V Bryant.
Shout out to Rick High.
So yeah, we got the same birthday, so he all right with me. That's my boy. We always celebrated that.
What's your birthday?
Boy. November 4th, man.
November 4th?
Yeah.
What year you was born?
87.
Y'all was born the same year?
I think so.
Because V was 06?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was born the same year.
Yeah. You're a Scorpio.
Yeah, man.
You moody?
I was about to say, I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means.
0 to 100.
Hey.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah, man.
I'm humble, man.
How y'all boys
humble
feel,
as a
though?
mumble in the jungle. That's how I feel.
That's how you feel?
Yeah.
How your week been?
It's been pretty eventful.
My week been eventful as well.
But great. I can't complain.
Yeah, so I'm still here, so.
I've been off. I've been off, but I've been working off duty, so.
So you just gonna rub it in off?
We
but
ain't
you
been
still been
off,
working off duty, though. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been working, bro. I've been working.
Yeah. Well, we all work. You know, we got to get it in.
Got to get it in.
That's law
Got to
enforcement.
get it in.
Yeah, man.
So, fellas, like I said earlier, we talking about purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about why you are here. What is your reason for being, right? Why did God create you? Have you even thought about why God created you? Is it something that you've laid down in bed at any point and asked yourself, why did God create me? Am I fulfilling my purpose? And if you haven't thought about your purpose, why? Is it something that you believe in, or is it something that you don't believe in? Is it something that you care about or you don't care about? That's what we're talking about today. So, anybody, talk to me.
Well, I think, so I've done some guest speaking at Florida High a couple years back. And one of the things I asked the students was, what's your purpose? And these were juniors and seniors in high school. So that's one of the first things I asked, because around that age, we don't really think about what's your purpose or what you want to do. We kind of everywhere mentally as far as like what we want to go to college, what we want to do. Around that time, you're thinking about it, but we really don't even know how that process goes. So in that, you got to think about what's your purpose. So yeah, I personally thought about it a lot, and I think I shared this on our previous podcast. I prayed about my purpose of what I'm supposed to be doing, and law enforcement came as one of those answers in my prayer. I think also just me being selfless and not knowing it's not about me, and helping people.
Right.
And being understanding, being an ear to listen, somewhere you can vent to. I'm not going to go back and tell the world, just different things like that. Sometimes we're here for other people.
Right. I was about to ask, who are those people? Because you said other people, but who are those people? Who are some of those people in your life?
It's sometimes family, friends, people reach out. We have social media. It may be an old classmate. It could be anybody. Mm-hmm. Anybody. Honestly, it's not specific peoples or persons. It's anybody who may need that. But our purpose, too, in that is to feel. You got to be able to feel people in that.
Right.
Because it's real.
So you have to take time to be intimate with other people other than just yourself, right?
Absolutely. That's the part of being selfless and being open to that, having an open heart for that. And if we're too selfish and in ourselves, I can't feel that you need to talk to me right now.
Right.
So
it takes a lot of listening.
Absolutely.
Not
a lot of patience.
A lot of patience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you don't have to agree or understand all of it, but if somebody can, talk to you,
right,
that's enough.
Right.
Because it's not about you.
Right. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when I'm thinking about my purpose, I always think of God putting me here to serve. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's very general because I think there's different types of servitude. There's different types of servitude that you must do before you leave. And that's whether that's being a father, whether that's being a police officer, whether that's just being a human being.
Right.
We were created to serve. Mm-hmm. I think that is the ultimate sacrifice, serving.
Right.
I mean, we can get religious or we don't have to get religious, but at the end of the day, when Jesus died on the cross, he was serving us. Mm-hmm. Right. At the end of the day. So I think it's our job to give to somebody, give to something, right? So as a father, James, how much of your purpose is the day-to-day when it comes to you as a father?
Well, going back to purpose, somehow, some way, all my life, I've attracted a lot of broken people. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, how, but I discern pretty heavy when it comes to people. Like, I'm actually able, and it's a God-given gift, to feel what somebody feels on the inside. And it may be a spiritual thing or whatever it is. I haven't quite gotten the full understanding of it yet, but when it comes to people, I'm able to relate to them because I feel where they feel. So a lot of times, man, and what's kind of crazy, lately, I've been attracting a lot of people who may have had any situations with suicide. Mm-hmm. And I don't, God always gives me the words to tell them, and I end up being best friends with a lot of people, but at the same time, they come to me for guidance. And even my own parents, when my parents had these situations, they came to me for guidance. And I'm a little boy, but at the same time, I always had the words to say. When it comes to my kids, dealing with those people who had those different situations, it made me want to make sure that I'm understanding my kids. Like, I hear stories where some people felt like they were either abused, some felt like they were mentally, left out or neglected. What made me a better parent was make sure I never neglect my kids. Mm-hmm. So I'll take their situations, and it made me want to make sure I have a talk with each one of my kids to figure out, hey, how your day was. Let you know how beautiful you are or how handsome you are. Compliment my kids, because you'll be surprised what that can do for a person who's never heard it before. So I make it a everyday thing with my kids to make sure that I'm paying attention to them. I hear them. I check on them. When it comes to us having that conversation, that they want to make sure I'm there to be available for them no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't get that experience to have with a father or parent, and a lot of times it leads to them doing other things. So I made everybody else's situation allowed me to pay attention to my kids a lot more and the issues they were having. Right. And I made sure that I was there for my kids in those type of situations. So
funny, y'all, because both of y'all got kids. I don't have kids, but I know I love kids, and that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm around kids, I always try to give a little piece of myself to them. And I think that's part of my purpose.
Yeah.
Just being in children's lives and always trying to speak life into them. One day I will be a father, like I said on the past episode.
Yeah.
One day I will be a dad.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I just want to make sure that I'm in position to be able to give my all to them. Because part of my purpose is going to be taking care of them, leading them, right? Making sure that if I have a son, that he grows up to be a great guy,
Right.
a great man, right? A great man on this earth, a great man of God, and one day a great father in himself.
Yeah. So I feel like that basically something that's been coming to me the last couple of weeks is that everything is one big experience. Our whole life is one big experience.
Right.
Everything we go through, everything we do experience. It's all for moments like that when you do become a father. The moments where you're with these kids and you're around them. Yes, we're at work sometimes or doing different things like that, but also that's part of your purpose of preparing you for fatherhood.
Right.
Because in those experiences, we get these feelings, whether it's a feeling of love or it's teaching you a lesson. And sometimes once you basically get into the realm of becoming a father, that feeling will come back and it'll be familiar to you. You know what I mean? So that helps us throughout improve and be better people, you know what I'm saying, and be open to that.
It's part of y'all's purpose, is it, when it comes to y'all's children? Do you live for your children?
Yes.
Do you live for your wives?
Yeah.
Wife?
Right.
Yeah.
Future wife?
Right.
Is that the goal? Do you live for them, right?
Everything you do, there in mind. Like, that's my gas to the fire. Like, when I want to quit, that's what keeps me going.
Right.
When there's something I'm choosing to do or that I'm approaching in life, what gives me the motivation to do it is when I sit back and understand who is all benefited, because it's never me.
Right.
When you have kids or you're in a relationship or anything, it's not just you. You don't make decisions for you, because what you do affects them.
Right.
So whether you make the right decisions in life, it's going to affect them. You make the bad choices in life, it's going to affect, because technically you are the captain of that boat.
Right.
So if you choose to flip that boat, you're going to flip everything that's in the boat.
Right.
But if you choose to, know how to work that boat and go over the waves and all the other stuff, because technically you're the man of the house.
Right.
You know,
You are the leader of that household.
And they depend on you for everything. When everything hits the fan, and they need that support, or they need the person that's going to lead the family to whatever, they're going to depend on you.
Right. To you.
Yep. So anytime my kids have a problem, they know daddy. It's to the point where they know daddy's going to be the one that makes it better.
Right.
Or they depend on me to make it better, whether I do it or not. And sometimes it's those sacrifices that they don't see, because you got to cry. You got to have those nights that you're crying.
Right.
You got to have those nights that you want to give up, but you can't let them see that you're giving up. You know what I'm saying? Like
our kids don't know what we go through to keep them safe,
exactly,
and to keep them peaceful.
I mean, I think about coming up as a kid.
Yeah.
The stuff, I know we men, but I'm talking about my mama. The stuff that my mother went through. I don't know how many nights she cried.
Right.
You ever look at her and be like, man, how you did that?
How
did you do that?
I'm still, to this day, I'm still trying to figure out how in the world she raised two boys pretty much by herself.
Yeah.
As a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a black woman.
Yeah.
How in the world did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, it's the going to work, getting off at 5, and then taking me and my brother to baseball practice.
Now I get back home to 9, 10 and at night.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes cooking.
Still got to cook.
You know, still got to cook.
Still got to get up and go to work.
You know how much strength it takes to do that?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of strength to do that.
Especially when you're stressing, like they don't see, like, especially if you're having a bad day. Your bad day can't affect, because they still got to go on. The kids still got to get fed. Things still, your priorities and stuff at the house still have to be met. So therefore, no matter how you feeling, you have to put that to the side for the sake of family, or for the sake of your kids and all that other stuff.
Right.
So wearing a mask is the biggest thing I think we have to master. Even in law enforcement, no matter how we feel coming into work, you got to put it to the side to deal with somebody else's issues. Same thing with kids. You go home, and no matter what you're going through or how you feel in that day, your kid's going to come to you expecting you to have the answers and the solutions to things. Right. And sometimes you got to put your feelings to the side. You got to dry those tears up. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Yeah.
I like how you said mastering, because it made me think about mastering your purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like knowing that you have purpose.
Right.
seeking out that purpose,
Right.
understanding that
Right.
purpose, and then mastering that purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's the mastering of that purpose that will get you over the humps, right?
Yeah.
Because you're familiar with it. Once you go through some stuff, it's like you're going to go through it again. Not saying you're going to continue to have problems. Certain things are going to be familiar to where you're like, okay, I dealt with that before. So now it's kind of like that mastering effect. I know what to do. I know how to deal with this. I know how to overcome this, you know.
What type of relationship does it take, a relationship with God, to find your purpose? Is God the giver of that purpose? And I know that has a lot to do with whether or not a person is a Christian at the end of the day, right?
But in any religion, you have a God.
You have a God.
Whatever you believe in, you know, I feel like that his divine purpose, he shows us our divine purpose or what we're supposed to be here for. Now, it's up to us if we're going to follow that or not.
Right. I like that.
Because we have free will, if you will. So it's up to us what we do with that.
Right.
But I believe that we are shown different things in life to show us our purpose of what makes us feel good. What makes me feel good may not make you feel good, though. So that's part of us exploring and finding our divine person and living through it and experiencing things. Because what I have a passion for now, I may not have a passion for when I'm 50 or 60, but it's all a part of my purpose.
So are there consequences when you don't know your purpose, when you don't try to seek out your purpose? Can people live on this earth without knowing their purpose? Can they have a successful, progressive life without indulging in their purpose?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Make you think.
Yeah, because that's very opinionated too.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I truly believe that, and that's just like this. For if you a dentist, I'm not expecting you to be to work on my heart. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, if you don't if you're trying to be a heart surgeon and you're a dentist,
Right.
it'll never work. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, if you're not walking in your lane, I feel as though that you won't be successful. You know,
Successful or as successful?
As successful. You know, I mean, because people can learn to master all different things.
There's a lot of rich people who hate what they do.
Yeah.
You know?
However, if you walking in your purpose, and I say walking in your purpose, you're walking in your passion. Meaning, if you truly enjoy doing what you do and you are actually doing it, it's not work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not forced. Like everything's gonna flow. The thing about it is, with me, I think the greatest feeling in the world is when God reveals your why.
Yep.
You know, we go through a lot of things in life, whether it's tragedy and whether it's triumph, you know. But when you understand the why things happen, because it eventually gets revealed to you.
Right.
But once you understand that why, it makes everything make sense.
Yep.
But I feel as though that everybody should be wanting to know why they were made.
Right.
What was their purpose of even God creating them?
Because what's the point of being on this earth and you have no clue why you're here?
That's
You know what I'm saying? What's the point?
Yeah, there's no point.
And that's how a lot of people are today. They just completely lost because they could care less about why they're here because they only have their agenda at heart, right?
Right.
They only think about what they want versus what
Need
and what reason God placed them here. Like you said, a lot of rich people hate what they do. And it made me think about people out here, again, living life on their own accord.
Right.
Versus what God needs them to do. My thing, happiness. People don't know how happy they'll be until they really doing what God wants them to do and needs them to do. See, people think they'll hate something. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not for me. But if it's what God wants for you, I bet you'll be happy.
Right.
Because I feel like we think we're going to change. Being productive in life spiritually or in a positive light changes you. Right. But that's what people think.
Right.
I think it makes you more authentic.
Right.
Because we're chasing ourselves trying to get to know ourselves anyway. To where we faking. To where we don't even know who we are if we don't find our purpose.
Right.
So we're going to be lost altogether if we don't seek what we're looking for and trying to keep up or trying to fulfill our own, like you said, our own purposes, our own dreams, you know, because those fade out to where you have to go.
That's dangerous,
look.
man.
It's very dangerous.
It's dangerous out here living on your own accord.
And then the crazy thing about it is another thing that kind of alters the way a person, you know, pursue their purpose is fear.
Right.
You know, a lot of times, like Les Brown said, the wealthiest place on the earth is the graveyard. It's full of people who didn't fulfill their purposes, who had dreams and goals and all this other stuff, but what was afraid to pursue it because of how other people would view them.
Right.
You know, or how other people would, you know, just based off of people's opinion. You know, somebody told them no, so they didn't choose to go, or the fact that they didn't want to step out there. Sometimes they just didn't have the resources, or nobody to let them know that it's okay to go this way and go that way. So a lot of times they're buried with their purpose and dreams, and you know what I'm saying. And TD Jakes said, you know, it's a crazy thing to get down to death, and then know, you know, you never fulfilled your purpose or lived your life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So what's your purpose? What is the point of living?
Because you don't even know what's on the other side.
Right.
Because you don't know if, dang, I was supposed to do something.
Yeah.
Is God going to be displeased with me?
Yeah.
I'm about to die.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get on the other side, I don't know what's waiting for me.
Yeah.
Imagine what this world would have if everybody actually went after their dreams and goals, because fear is a man-made thing, you know. So a lot of times when it comes to pursuing your dreams and goals, a lot of people, even other people, you get discouraged because of how they so focused on how people view them. And if they just, you know, put the energy in and made it happen, you don't know what inventions could have been made. You don't know what things could have happened, you know, for you in life.
Just gave the effort.
You just put the effort in, or to just gave it a chance.
Yeah, and that's how strong your purpose has to be on you. I feel like, as far as it just being like you feeling it, you know what I mean, to where we can't be afraid who says or what people think of what we doing.
Right.
When I got into ministry, like, what, you, Jay Reed, I know you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, in all honesty, they don't know what you go through, what you deal with to get to these points of manifestation, of knowing of what you being shown in life or what you got to do.
Right.
A lot of our purpose means we don't have a choice. You have to do it. Because if you don't, it can be destruction. It is. It's all of that.
Like, I truly feel like you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
When it comes
it's that
to life.
divine.
Like, God didn't just, like, he didn't just handcraft me.
Right.
Just so I could live.
Right.
That's pointless. That's not even the type of God that we have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. There has to be a reason why I'm here, right?
Right.
That is my purpose. So nothing else is acceptable.
Yeah. And part of our purpose, I think, just us, our humbleness, our purpose is through our platforms in life.
Right.
But we're humble with that so that we even sometimes forget what kind of platform we really truly have. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we embrace it and we use it to a way to empower others. Like we said, it's not about us, you know.
Right. It's not about us.
It's about the kids. It's about the community, you know. Whoever needs it, you know. Anybody can stop us any day and say, hey, let me ask you a question. Hey, can I talk to you?
Right.
And by them venting, you know what happens to us all the time. Can I tell you what happened?
Right.
And then they tell you stuff like, I feel
really
so much better. It does.
Right. Some people just need to vent, just need to get it out.
And guess what? We got at that point. Sometimes we have to listen. It's like, okay,
right? We got to listen. One, because it's our job.
Exactly.
Two,
exactly.
If you're a good person, if you're a good
you're gonna
dude,
do it anyway.
listen anyway.
You're gonna do it anyway.
And I think your purpose wasn't given to you just to benefit you. You know, your purpose is not created to just benefit you by yourself. Your purpose is for others. You know, so a lot of times, like you putting together a computer. If the wrong thing is in the wrong spot, you know, or it's not, or if it's missing, the computer won't work. Every piece of the part of the computer has to be in a certain place and has to be connected in a certain kind of way
for it to work,
for the whole thing to work.
Right.
That's the same thing for your purpose. You know, God has a purpose for the entire world, but your part of the purpose is a piece to the biggest, you know, the big platform or what it is that He's trying to do.
Right.
So.
And that's why it's important to get yours, to find yours, because we're all here for something very different. We all have different callings in life.
There's a lot of importance in focusing on yourself as an individual. It sounds selfish, and in many ways it is selfish. But I think there's a level of selfishness, or an amount of selfishness that has to take place in order for you to be, productive. To the entire equation, right? Like, if you can't focus on yourself first, you'll never get yourself right, and you'll be no good to nobody.
Right.
So what's the
And
point?
how can you become familiar with your purpose if you don't take time to get to know it? And that's yourself.
And get to know yourself.
You have to get to know yourself first to know other people. I can't tell you nothing about you if I don't know me.
Imagine how many people out here living that don't even know themselves. A lot of people.
Yeah, I talked about that in church one day. Are you living or simply existing? You know, which one are you doing?
Dead man walking. At the end of the day, that's all you are. Dead man walking, because you serve no real role here on earth. You ain't helping nobody. You ain't even helping yourself. But you want to be a man.
Yeah.
What kind of man are you if you serve no purpose? If you serve no role to anybody? If you can't help nobody, you can't help nobody if you can't even help yourself.
Yep, that's
You gotta help yourself.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Who eat first in the house? Who eat first? I know that question came out of the blue.
Who eat first?
Who eat first and why?
It's usually
Usually the man. I mean, if you're in that married dynamic, okay, go ahead.
Who eat first in your house?
I eat first.
You eat first. And why?
It's not I take that back.
Because there's no wrong answer.
We eat together. So
Okay.
they may fix my plate first.
But
after, nothing is touched until we pray.
I like it.
Until we
like
say
that.
our prayer.
Yeah, we eat together.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sitting at the head of the table, but nobody touch food until we bless the food. That's just.
I love that answer. Because a lot of people would give, well, I eat first because I'm the man.
No.
And then other people would give, my kids gonna eat first because I love my kids.
Yes.
So my dynamic, I stay
go
by
ahead.
myself.
Right.
Like, as of right now, and you know, so when I do have my children, I fix their food first before I fix mine.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just different
Right.
how that's going, you know what
That's
I'm saying?
why I asked why, because everybody gonna have a different answer. I know, like in my daddy, when it came to stuff like that, my daddy always said that his kids gonna eat first.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
But I also respect a man who say, you know what, I'm gonna eat first because I'm the king of the house. For whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I also respect James' answer.
Yeah.
I love James' answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gonna sit at the table together.
Right.
We
Even
gonna
if
pray.
you fix my plate first, we gonna do this
hey,
together. That's how it's supposed to
Right.
be.
After we pray to God and thanking
Yeah.
Him for the food that we about to receive.
Yeah.
I don't care who fork hit the plate
Yeah.
first. It don't
Just
matter.
don't
at
be
that
chewing
point, right?
while I'm praying.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
Or
saying?
before I start praying.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a good question.
But yeah. I never hit on the question asked earlier
Go ahead.
about what you leave. My motto has always been my entire life: a good man leave an inheritance for his children's children. And you know, whether it's mental, physical, or spiritual, a great man leaveth an inheritance for his children's children.
Right.
That's deep, you know, because mental inheritance is just as important as physical
That's something we
inheritance.
don't never want to talk about.
Yeah.
Never talk about it.
You know, a lot of times
look.
just the mindset of my daddy was a hard worker, or my family, this is how we get down. This is,
Right.
you know, we're not quitters, you know, and developing that. Like my kids, man, they gonna work. My son, to this, like my son is into stock and marketing and all that other stuff. I knew nothing about it, you know, but he was introduced by something else. I mean, by a Sigma Beta club. But when he was young, I don't know if y'all saw my videos on Instagram and stuff, I worked him. And I put into his mindset, to this day, he would not give up. He would, because he understands that what I require from him. Any one of my kids.
Right.
They would never give up because, you know, I put in that mindset that, you know, we're never going to quit. If anything, but you give everything all that you have.
Right.
You know, even when it comes to business-wise, a lot of stuff, my parents only knew what they taught us, and they didn't know no more than that. You know, so therefore, when it came to them teaching us, they taught us what they knew. My job today is whatever resources that I know, and I know a lot more than my parents did, you know, back when they were little. So when it's raising my kids, whatever their goals are and dreams, I try to give them all the resources I can for them to maximize their potential.
Right.
And be the best that they can be, because if I give them that opportunity, you just never know. You know, so when it comes to them wanting to try things, I always give them the opportunity to try it. If they don't like it, fine. I don't never force them to do anything.
Absolutely.
You know, because you just never know the smallest things that you may not think will make them money, or the things that you think that, you know, you may downplay, maybe the very thing that shoot them to the top.
Right.
So one thing about it is you always support your kids. Now, if they make a bad decision, that's a different story. Right. You know when they're going out of the way. But when it comes to the legacy that you live or the inheritance that you give, physical inheritance, shoot, me and my brothers, we're flipping houses and things like that. Teaching them should at least introduce it to them.
Right.
Maybe, and if that's something that you create a business with, if they choose to take it, they take it. If they don't, whatever it is, but giving them the opportunity to and opening up their mindset to want to be hustlers, right. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean,
just work to hustle.
Yeah, to
entrepreneurship.
Hustle, entrepreneurship.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to depend on somebody else to get work. You create what it is that you like, and like you say, your purpose and passion. If you passionate about it, I'm gonna support it.
Yeah. And I think that you letting them try different things, man, that's definitely helping them find their purpose. 'Cause like you said, it might be that little thing that you don't even see something in, but they get something out of it.
Right.
And that
It's
can
that
take them
exposure.
a long way. Yeah.
We talked about that in one of the last episodes, being able to expose your kids to different things, especially early.
Yeah.
The earlier they get exposed to something different, the more enlightened they are. And the more enlightened they are, the better chance they have at being successful in life.
You know what else is going to help with their purpose and exposing them?
What's that?
To know. The
Expound
answer no.
Oh, the answer no.
The answer
Oh, yeah,
no.
all day.
Yeah.
I'm with
And I
that.
think once, kids grasp or hold of the understanding that you're not always going to get told yes, it's going to help with finding your purpose and humbling you.
Right.
And knowing that everything ain't going to go your way.
I mean, too many kids these days are coddled.
Yeah.
They coddled, way too coddled.
How you feel about everybody getting trophies type deal?
I don't like
stuff like that. You know what I
I
mean?
just don't like it because at the end of the day, I don't care how old you are, you need to know that you don't get stuff for free.
Right.
When you are given stuff, you expect that to always be the way it is.
Now, free food, that's different.
Well, yeah, if you in need of free food, like
Right.
if your family
I
dirt
get what
poor
you're
and you
saying.
can't get no food other than
Right.
free food, then yeah. But at the end of the day, when you give a kid a trophy and he didn't earn it, listen. First of all, I understand the sentiment. I understand that we should allow kids or let kids know that they are loved. But you're not loving them any less when you don't give them something that they haven't earned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because now we're getting used to losing and we think it's okay.
And not only that, it takes the value off first place. Like how much value is first place when everybody get a trophy? Now I'm not finna shoot for first place all the time. I'm gonna get a trophy anyway.
And how do you value that hard work to get to first place?
Right, and that's the question because it's all about the mental.
Yeah.
If I give you something for free, that's what you expect.
Yeah.
Like even when I lose, I'm still gonna get the congratulations. I'm still gonna get the love, and it's fine to get love. But at the end of the day, how is that love? What's the consequence of that love that wasn't earned?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you kids have to know that you can't get stuff for free.
And
you have to work
it creates
for
a sense of entitlement or
Right.
obligate, like I'm obligated. You know,
Kids have to know that there's
Yeah.
always gonna be somebody better than them.
Yeah. Tough
Always.
love.
Yeah.
Love is tough. Love is gentle.
Yeah.
Right.
But a lot of times your lessons come from that tough love.
Right.
Absolutely.
Love comes
Being-
from the hurdles.
Because
I mean,
you don't want to
lessons
grow
come
up.
from the
You don't want to
hurdles.
grow up thinking everything comes to you, and you grow up and
Right.
become this person who goes to work and think everything go your way.
And then when it don't go your way, you don't know how to handle it.
Those are.
Right.
Let me tell you, those are some of the hardest people to work with. I ain't got no.
Those are the hardest.
the
people.
hardest
Yeah.
people to work. We feel
Right.
obligated and entitled sometimes. you know.
Right. Like they supposed to just get everything handed to them. No,
But
it's
that's
not
that's what they used to. And you know what's crazy is when they face those hurdles, they don't know how to deal with pressure. And a lot of times they take it hard because they had everything given to them. Even on when we're dealing with students, man, these students, man, some of the parents, take some away from them, and some of them be on the verge of suicide because they never ever faced trials and issues. You know, what I mean, everything was always given to them, and a lot of times when they are in a situation which is uncomfortable, which is the unfamiliar, they don't know how to handle it. That's why I expose my kids to the rough and the good parts, But at the same, when they have the rough parts, I make a lesson out of it,
You got to be thankful for the good and the bad,
Yeah.
And like you say, show them all sides. I went to a very diverse school. Florida High we 25% African American, but it had foreign exchange. We had everything.
Right.
But in that, I still had my family, so I could deal with the hoodest of the hood or the richest of the richest or whatever, either way. But it taught me how to be authentic and to be able to be professional and all that good stuff and be myself in that.
Right.
Yeah.
You said pressures earlier. Do y'all feel a certain level of pressure as a black man and trying to get it right, and trying to find your purpose and just trying to be successful, be progressive?
Yes, indeed.
Do you feel a certain level of pressure?
Absolutely.
We have to work 10 times as harder.
Is that a bad thing?
No.
Is it a thing?
Only because when you know how to work. Like, I think we are a very balanced race. Meaning, if the world goes through a pandemic, we know how to survive. Whether it's in the good and the bad. Like, I think even with this coronavirus, where we had to sit down somewhere, I think we knew, this was nothing foreign to us. Like, we knew, how to hustle. Even we had a hurricane here in Tallahassee, and all the power was out, and we couldn't get no food and all the other stuff. Man, I made me a Spam sandwich because I've been there before. This was nothing new. I just went back to grandma's house back in the day, sugar water, mayonnaise sandwich. Shout out Trick Daddy. No, but honestly, our race is a race that know how to survive. I'm not down there on the race. I'm just saying that, the things that you go through in life prepare you for the good and bad. Right. So it's just, I think when it comes to, when you say pressure, I think we do well with pressure. Only because we've been fighting all our lives.
Do you feel that pressure?
Yeah, I feel it all the time. Man, we go deep into this when it comes to pressure. I can speak on all different angles when it comes to pressure. Oh man, I can speak from different angles, from a father, from a police officer, from just a person, a black man.
Do you ever feel like you're not getting it right or doing it right sometimes as a father? Is there ever times when you're sitting there, you're like, dang?
I learned that as long as I'm doing the best I can do, and that's the only thing I try to do. Right. You're gonna have those hurdles, and like we said in the other episode, how do you know you're not being a good father? Who's the judge of that besides the kids? Right. Maybe you may not do it the way this person do it. Maybe you didn't even have the same opportunities that this person have, and you have done the best that you can. It may not please every eye that sees it, but you actually did the best that you can for your kids or your family. The only judge is that is you, God, you and God. So as long as you gave the best effort that you can, that's all that matters. And to me, I try to do the best I can. I'm good with laying my head and knowing I did the best I can. Now, if I shortchange myself, that's a different story. But if I went out here and absolutely gave all I had for the time and the resources and everything I have, I felt like I've done a great job.
Right. What about you, Jay Reed? You feeling any pressure as a black man and trying to get it right and trying to fulfill your purpose?
Absolutely.
In what ways?
I believe you feel more pressure, not because we definitely do have to work harder. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And people may not see that.
People like what people?
On the outside looking in, as us as black men trying to get it together. And I say that because when we become successful black men, it gets a little harder because there's a certain expectancy.
Oh man.
Because we're successful.
That's right.
And in that expectancy, it holds a lot of weight because we're already looked at sometimes as failures.
So you think it's kind of like we born as born?
I wouldn't say we're born as failures because in certain areas of the world, black men, I feel like, are praised more than maybe we are here in America.
So what did you mean when you say looked at as failures? What do you mean by that?
I mean, just coming in, we're not coming in at the top all the time.
Right.
We have to earn it a little more than other people sometimes because simply we're coming in as a black man.
We got to do a little something extra.
So we have to do a little something extra. We got to come with other credentials sometimes. It just depends on the situation or your dynamic of what you're trying to do. But we do, because we're successful and because we share spaces with other successful people of other races, sometimes we have a certain expectancy. And I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves sometimes because we're in the role that we don't want to mess up. But it's not even in that.
Is that pressure, is that healthy or is it unhealthy?
I think it's unhealthy sometimes because a lot of stuff, we're our own worst enemies anyway. So a lot of times is definitely self-inflicted. So once you embrace where you are and who you are within that, and knowing this person is just like me, I don't care what color you are, it can be Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, white, I don't care. I'm here with you, so I'm in this space with you. You put your pants on just like I do every morning.
You just gotta wonder though, like, to what level of mental strength does a man have to get to really believe what you just said, to truly believe what you just said, that I am just like you, that I can do everything that you can do. And what does it take?
I believe for me, it took me to embrace everything that got me there. The people who told me I wasn't going to make it past anything I did, or graduate, or whatever the case may be. I'm not even that type of guy, but people, me being a black man, they see that. And me knowing who I am, and I'm always trying to embrace who I am and being very confident in who I am, not being conceited, not being arrogant, but being confident in my purpose, right? And my capabilities, where I come and bring to the table. You
spoke of arrogance. Do you think that we sometimes, as black men, we overcompensate? I
think we feel like we have to be arrogant, and we don't.
Is there a dangerous level of arrogance that we can sometimes take it to?
Absolutely.
That kind of hurts us?
It can get you fired. It can get you hurt. It can get you put in jail. It can get you all of that because we think we have to be up here when we just need to be balanced and understand, like I said, who we are. Right. It's hard to do.
You say understand who we are. That means that we have to look within ourselves and understand ourselves.
You have to be able to take responsibility. You got to be able to self-evaluate. I ain't perfect by a long shot. Right. But I work on me daily. Right. Any little thing I need to try to correct to do, it's going to happen naturally, and you just embrace where God is taking you.
Right. I didn't become a better person until I started being myself. Yeah. Like, even when in our career, I tried to, when I first started off, I didn't know how to be a police officer. So
you got to learn how to
look at how everybody else walking. You look at how everybody else talking, and I struggled most when I tried to pattern myself as what I saw. But when I sat down one day, I was like, man, I ain't faking no more. Let me be me. And when I became me,
you can remember that moment when you said that to yourself.
It was in my FTO field trip when I was in FTO. I was trying to talk a certain kind of way on the mic, and there's certain phonetics and stuff we have to say on the mic, but I was trying to say it a certain kind of way. I was trying to walk a certain kind. When I dealt with situations, I tried to deal with it like this person dealt with it, and I struggled the most when I did that. And I was like, man, I'm tripping because I wasn't doing as well as I thought I was when I was trying to be that. But one day I said to myself, like, man, let me do this my way. Let me figure out, how to be me and still do what it is that I do. Right. And when I did that, it was like a light came on. I was in a whole different world, and it made my job 10 times easier. But even as a father, when people want you to, hey, you have parents and you have people in front of you that try to teach you how to be a father, but you can't truly be a father until you know who you are and be your own father. Like a father's on a family to family basis.
Kid to kid.
Yeah, kid to kid basis. Like I have 4 kids. 4 different kids. So I have to deal with all 4 of them differently. Sometimes I got to talk to this one a little more than I got to talk to this one. When over here, I ain't got to say too much to them because they get it, But at the same time, when I understood that, you can't base your life off of somebody else, it's hard trying to base your life after somebody else because you can never, ever be comfortable. It's a lot of stress. You got to be this person. You got to be that person. That's a lot, man. It take a lot of energy out of you. But when you yourself, it don't take that much effort because you're doing things your way. And I think that's how life is supposed to be. Your own happiness is determined by how you see things, not how everybody else see things. beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
Happiness is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
You know, all this other stuff is depending on how you look at it. And if you're happy, how you see things, I feel like that's the greatest gift in the world. Like
That's on my vision board on my desk in my office.
Which one? Which part?
Just embracing.
Embracing yourself.
Yeah, it says embrace your dopeness.
Oh, okay.
I've had it up for like 2 weeks now, but I always
T-shirt.
Yeah, embrace your dopeness. Be you.
Right.
That's what makes us so dope.
Nobody can be you better than you.
So James, when I was listening to you talk last, you was talking about like basically accepting yourself. So as black men, there has to be a huge level, and it shouldn't be huge, but it's huge in the sense that we recognize that it's something that's necessary. And what I'm talking about is an acceptance of thyself in order for us to understand our purpose, I guess, and in order for us to be successful. So, Jay Reed, how important to you, or how important is it that a man, a black man, or just a man in general,
Right.
accept themselves for who they are? Because that's what you was talking about.
Right.
And where does that acceptance come from? And when I ask come from, there's an answer that I have in my head that I think is the right answer.
Okay.
It's not a quiz,
Right.
but I just want to hear what your answer is.
In accepting ourselves and accepting our purpose, we have to embrace who we are in our purpose, because we can't get complacent in it or get stagnant, but we have to have some type of being comfortable in that, and that's the part of embracing us becoming law enforcement officers. We still have to be ourselves in that, because like he said earlier, you can't be somebody else. I can't do what he do.
You got to love yourself.
You have to love yourself in this so people can see that. People sense things on us, right? Especially when we're at work and stuff. People can sense fears. They can sense if you don't, you know what I'm saying? However we feeling, sometimes they can sense that. But in that, we have to embrace and accept who we are and whatever we're doing.
Right.
And you got to be real and authentic in it. And you're not going to manifest in it and fully grow and get the full manifestation of it if you don't accept yourself in it.
So, like I said,
that's deep, though. You got to dig deep for that.
Exactly right. So that acceptance of oneself, I just feel like it comes from a higher power. Like that's your relationship with God, and understanding why you're here, and understanding that He loves you. So it don't matter what anybody else think of you.
It comes from God. It comes from a lot of self-discipline, a lot of changing things and altering sometimes, even your circle. My circle was very, very small than what it was when I was 18 years old.
Right.
We all from here. We'll go to the moon 20 deep back in the day. It was just all your homeboys and everybody who want to come.
Right.
You know, now I don't mind being by myself in my house, chilling. I'm okay with that.
You do any meditating? And when I say meditating, I don't mean on the floor with your legs crossed in the Indian style.
I don't really do any meditating. I do more so, I do that. I do a lot of self-evaluation, a lot of times where I might turn the TV off and just, you know, I like to go outside. I'm a little country boy too, so I like to sit on my porch like a granddaddy used to do, listen to the cars. But that, in the moments you may hear from God.
Right. That's meditation all day.
It is. It's a sense of communicating with God. I was reading a book by Neil Donald Walsh called Communicating with God, Our Conversations with God. And it was all through different dialogues, and he spoke on how God speaks to you. It's not necessarily a voice.
Right.
It's signs. It could be something on this paper. It could be a word. You can read something on the internet that says heal, and you may need that one word. There's different things like that. So in that, we learn stuff about ourselves through that meditation, you know, allowing ourselves to open up. We got to open up to ourselves.
Right.
That's hard to do.
You open it up to yourselves, but at the same time, you open it up to God too.
You open up to God when you open up to yourself.
Because it's God in the day.
It is. And we're our worst enemies. And when we're
not
not critical on ourselves, we learn how to love ourselves.
we love ourselves. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we're very critical on ourselves. I don't like the way my nose look. I don't like the way this or that. You know, when you start loving yourself, say, man, I'm sexy. I got this. I'm good. You feel me? I don't care what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? If my pinky toe black, I'm still sexy. It don't matter.
Listen, bro, I got some ugly toes. I ain't
It's all
accepting
right.
that
We
yet.
ain't gonna put you out there like that, cuz.
I already put myself.
But it's all right.
You're not the only one, okay? We all the
toes.
ugly toe.
Ugly toe crew.
Great.
I got one that go like West Side, so we all good.
My toe
But
don't
guess
look like
what?
that
We are successful and we do it and we blessed.
West.
Hey. You wonder why you walk so straight sometimes that uniform, them toes, man.
Hey.
Oh,
Them
so
boots.
that's why you limp a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no,
James.
go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. Finish up.
Go
what you
ahead.
was
I'm
saying.
good. I'm good.
So James, with that said, what type of love do you have for yourself? What type of respect do you have for yourself as an individual?
Listen, I love myself. I don't care what nobody says about me. Like, I am self-motivated. I don't look for a pat on the back to tell me I'm doing good. I don't look for somebody else to tell me I love you to know that I'm loved. You know, I don't need all of that, because I'm in a place in my life where I've learned to self-motivate myself. When I need the motivation, every time when I get up in the morning, I listen to Eric Thomas. I listen to a lot of people that motivate me. That's because science say the thing you listen to the first 20 minutes of when you wake up is how the rest of your day going to go. So I make sure I put positive stuff in me, and I require positive energy only.
Right.
Good vibes and all that other stuff. Yeah. Because you be surprised with a person that's just negative do to you in your day.
Can't
you know,
stand it.
and I'm a positive type person, so I'm real big on my peace, you know, and I require peace wherever I go. You know, I don't like just turmoil and all the other stuff. So in order for me to be who I can truly be and be the best I can be to others and serve others like I'm supposed to, I surround myself with nothing but positivity, because I give off the same energy that I'm around. So even when I'm hanging out with people, there's a certain standard, and it's not being arrogant and all the other stuff. It's just how I am, and it's who I am, and this is what I require. So even if we're talking on the phone, like if I choose my friends now, man, you either have to have some stuff going for yourself, because like they say, you are as successful as your 5 closest friends.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you got to reevaluate your friends. If you're the smartest person in your group, change your group.
Yeah,
if you're the richest person in your group, change your group, because you need people you can all pull up on as well. The people who I hang around my group of friends, man, I get that call every night, bro. You on top of your stuff, and that motivates me to keep going.
Makes you
Like,
let you know that you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Me and my cousins have a group. It's called Good Vibes Only. This is my brother and 2 of my cousins.
What you mean a group? Like a Facebook group?
No,
or like
a text group.
Text group.
Text
Okay, I
group.
got you.
So in this text group, we motivate each other. Somebody post themselves working out. Where y'all at? What y'all doing?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the kind of stuff for me.
Yeah,
I like that.
And then we'll share certain things, laugh about, but at the same time, it's nothing but motivation. You know what I'm saying? And we're family, so therefore we know each other from and we genuinely care about each other.
Right.
So in this group, man, some days I'll be sitting down there and I see my cousin going there, my brother, and they, this is a group of hardworking men and successful men.
Right.
So we encourage each other, even when it comes to introducing new things, new opportunities to be great or better. We encourage each other to do it, you know, and that's the purpose of our group.
Right.
And we're family at the same time, so it ain't nothing but love.
Right.
So that's one part of, and that's one thing that I have in my pocket that I use. So when I'm dealing with friends, which I don't, I deal with a lot of people, but like you say, my circle of friends is extremely small for that purpose. And if the goal isn't to be better than we were yesterday, and we can't encourage each other to be better, man, I don't want you around me.
Right.
And even with this podcast, this is big. We are empowering each other.
Right.
And so, I would want to be a part of this any day.
Right.
Just because of what it's creating for not only us, but other
People
people.
who listen to it.
Right. So this is therapy.
Yeah, we are examples for others, man. You never know who you're going to reach out.
Right.
This is
But you got to love yourself first.
You gotta love yourself first.
You first.
Is
gotta
this
love
wrong?
yourself
I love myself this much. I got a picture of myself at my desk, bro.
I got a picture of
Ain't
myself
nothing
on
wrong
my
with
phone. They be like, bro, you arrogant.
I just say you got to love yourself.
Who don't have multiple
You gotta
pictures of
love
themselves
yourself,
in their
bro.
phone?
Yeah.
You got to love yourself.
You gotta love yourself. But
It's-
that love should come from a positive place.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to get to this place to embrace yourself in such a way that I can move forward. I can be me.
Right.
You know?
I've been through a lot in my life,
Right.
and the rough part made me the person I am. The lessons in life made me. That's the reason I act the way I act. You know, for me to have the confidence I have, I didn't have this confidence a long time ago. It took time and it took tears. It took a lot of pressure. It took a lot of building myself up to even get this level of peace that I have.
If we can't do it, how we gonna tell somebody else
right.
how to do it?
And I think that's what makes it more beneficial when we are serving others or encouraging others. We're speaking from a place of experience. You know, I can easily tell somebody be great, but I can really tell somebody to be great when I had to be great myself. You know, so when you telling it from a place that you've experienced, it hits different. You know, so
we experience things in life and see things a lot of people don't see. And sometimes we don't want to see.
We as in who?
We as in us, a group of men in our professions at this point, law enforcement.
Yes, we do.
We see a lot of different things. We hear a lot of stuff. We deal with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And sometimes have y'all families that be like, you know, I don't know how you deal with that. I don't what you know. And sometimes we can't really explain it, you know, because it's unexplainable.
Because exactly, it is unexplainable. What we see on a daily basis is not normal.
right.
So how do you explain that to people who live in a normal world?
And that's even more reason for us to accept ourselves and what we do.
Right.
That's just like my mom. Sometimes I'll be on shift and she'll FaceTime, and my mama, listen, she still treat me like I'm about 12. My mama, I love it though. My mama is a sweetheart. We had a gun call. Somebody was shooting. Like, hey, Mom, I'll call you right back. I go, sweetie, don't go down there. Don't you go over there. I said, Mom, the police, I got to go.
Mama, I said, hey, I filled out an application and everything.
They shooting down here on Pensacola Street. Mom, James, don't go on Pensacola Street. You go over there on Tennessee Street. You go over here. She'll tell like to this day, I don't want you going over. You better go. And I said, Mom, I ain't got no choice.
Right.
Like when they running from, I got to run to it.
Right,
I said, I knew what I signed up for before I did this. But my dude don't play about that. Like, but she know what I do. But when it's there,
right? When it's in her face.
Oh, mama, listen, mama, you better not. Like, mama, I cannot not go. You know, they need me over here. But that's just mama though. You know, but she understands. But when it comes to, she's still mama.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so shout out to mama.
Shout out to the mama.
Hey, let me ask y'all this. What's the question I wanted to ask? In terms of purpose, right? Mm-hmm. We know we look to God. Mm-hmm. But is there an earthly person? And James, I already know your dad is probably the answer to this, but it could be somebody else. Is there a man here on earth that y'all look up to, that y'all know personally, that gives y'all the encouragement, that y'all look to for that encouragement to be good men, to be godly men, to be good police officers, to be good fathers? Is there somebody that you go to? Is there a mentor that you have in your life? Mm-hmm. If there isn't, why? If there is, why is that person in your life? Why is he that mentor to you?
You say as a man.
It just as it all together. I mean, at the end of the day, we can have multiple people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have multiple
right?
people for different roles. You know, my dad in my spiritual realm now is one of my closest everything, friend, mentor, all of that. My spiritual leader, my father, my pastor. Mm-hmm. So in that realm, yes. In my career field, it would be my lieutenant, who was also my patrol sergeant for a while. But that's somebody
Why is he?
He pushes me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he trusts me enough to let me do my job and believes in me enough to know what I'm doing is part of my purpose and part of what I do. He let me do me. And that's sometimes hard to do in our career field in any job sometimes because we have micromanaging. Mm-hmm. It's the honest truth. So if you can find somebody who allows you to do your job and trust you in that, but pushes you, also motivates you and don't mind helping you, for your lieutenant to come out while you on call, bro, 2-3 in the morning, your lieutenant, bro, that speaks volumes to me. You know what I'm saying? So in that, he's somebody I look up to. Another lieutenant that works with us. I look up to him just because of how normal they are in their purpose.
Out of curiosity, he's black man or white man?
He's black man.
Black man.
And not by purpose, I'm saying, but that's just how it is. That's just the the element of it right now, but they are black men. But that honestly is part of why they embrace me even more and why they motivate me even more because of who they are
and where they are
and how they got there. You know, they started from probably even lower than where I'm at now. Definitely as patrol, whatever they was doing. You know what I'm saying, to get where they are.
Right.
But you see these people and they're regular people.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is why they motivate me because I like to be authentic. That's who I accept myself to be of who I am because I know I can be different, weird, whatever you want to call me, whatever. But in that, you have these male figures who help with that. So yeah, I have multiple people.
What about you, Jan?
Same here. My haters, man. My haters motivate me.
Your haters motivate you?
I'm gonna tell you why.
You got real bona fide haters?
And when I say that, I mean everybody who counted me out. Everybody who counted me out. Shout out to everybody who counted me out. Everybody who said that I was only gonna stay on the streets, or I was, hey, you know what? You need to go and join the army. You know, that is what really changed my life because at one point in my life, I didn't expect to be where I am now, and a lot of people didn't expect for me to be where I am at this point. They saw my physical image, me of how I looked and what I was a part of, and they automatically thought either I was going to be dead, which I was really kind of in a position where, man, I didn't know what I was doing. I was at a point in my life where I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going with the flow, and so a lot of times, even when it came, some family members counted me out, but when I realized I was stressing my parents, or my mom and my dad, that was my motivation to be great. Because one thing about it is I didn't never ever want to hurt my mom and dad. I never ever wanted to put them in a position where they had to worry about me, or I'm the cause of their heart attacks and
I can relate
stress and all that other stuff.
Right.
So I made it my duty to get myself together.
Right.
And you know how sometimes you say God intervened. It was the point when my sister was killed is what really opened my eyes to reality of life. What am I doing? I had a what am I doing moment. Even the day she died, when I went home from the hospital that night, I sat to myself and I tried to drink myself to sleep. I'd probably drink a fifth of liquor and didn't even get drunk. I was just in a different spot in my mind.
Right, you were probably just so wired up.
Yeah, so it was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? Like, how can I, what can I do from this point on? Can I sit here and continue to do what I'm doing? Because if I keep doing this, I'm going downhill. Or do I take this and use this as a motivation to be better? I had my first daughter, I had my child, and I'm like, I don't want to put myself in a position where she has to grow up and somebody else raising her, or somebody else, in her life that's, put her out there where I can't raise her. I'll put it to you that way. And when that part happened, a lot of that changed my focus and my standards. Like, I got to do better within myself and be better. I still didn't know where I was going, but or what I was doing at the time, but it made me just change my focus to be a better man, a better person.
Right.
So my motivation would be my parents and definitely my children.
Right. Definitely for me, that spot on. That's my parents.
Yeah.
When I was wilding out in Atlanta, not living right, only thing I think of was my mom and my dad, and my brothers and my sisters too.
Right.
Like, I didn't have the people in my life to scold me. I could live the life that I wanted to live without no consequences, without no judgment from the people that I love the most.
Right.
So I had to come back home. I came back home to the people that I knew that would ridicule me. Maybe not out loud, not verbally, but I knew that I would be able to look in their eyes and I could tell when they thought that I wasn't doing right. I needed to see that. So they were my motivation.
Yeah.
When I came back home, it was like a switch. It's like somebody flipped the switch and my life had completely changed. It had reverted completely back to who I was before I had left. But the thing about it was the awareness in me to be able to see that. You know, as a man, as a young man at the time, I was able to have that awareness and see that. I knew when my bread was buttered at. Only in the sense that I knew where I needed to go, where I would receive the level of judgment if I did something wrong. But it was positive reinforcement that I was seeking. I needed that.
Without those phases in life, do y'all think we would be where we are today?
No, not at all.
We have to go through those,
right? You have to go through those. You have to face those monsters. I mean, it's just part of life, especially as a man, as a woman too.
Bro, if you don't face them, you might become it.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. You might become it. Yeah.
So, what was that turning point in your life? Like, where were you
that night when I was sitting at the house? I was at my auntie house actually, and I just realized I wasn't accomplishing nothing. I just was not accomplishing anything. Yeah. And I called my homeboy up and said, I need you to come help me move. And that was a turning point. That was literally the turning point.
How did you feel?
After or during that?
During that moment. Like, what was it that...
I was disgusted with myself.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was becoming everything that my mother didn't want me to be. And the last person that I wanted to hurt was my mama.
That's a spot to be in, you know?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to hurt my mama.
Yeah, that's a spot to be in.
Listen, at the time, I'd rather have punched my mom in the face than to hurt her emotionally and to allow her to see me become nothing.
Yeah.
That would have been better for me to punch her in the face. So I was in a position in life mentally where, and I wasn't depressed.
Yeah.
I was just disgusted with myself.
Right.
I think there's a difference between being disgusted with yourself and being depressed. Yeah. I'm too much of a positive person.
It's how you come out of that.
Right.
You know, that disgusted feeling.
But you have to steer yourself in the direction to come out of it. You have to make certain decisions, certain sacrifices in order to reach that level of come outness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's either you stay there and continue to be who you are, or you look yourself in the mirror and you say, I don't like that person that's looking back at me.
I got to change.
I got to change. And that's okay. It's okay for you not like the person in the mirror, bro. That is completely okay. That's something that you have to do.
It's something we learned in training one time. They said it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It's right.
It's all right. It's okay to not be okay. But you got to recognize it, accept it. Like we said earlier, you got to accept that.
When I'm going out with mentally ill people. Who kind of on that verge of, they got themselves together, but they kind of going downhill.
Yeah.
They know they need the help, but they just don't want to face it.
Right.
I say, listen, it's okay to be sick. This ain't no different from a head cold.
Yeah.
You diagnose a head cold, they give you the medicine, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, if you are suffering mentally, we can help you with that.
Right.
Not me personally.
Right.
But I can take you to the people who can help you with that.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to go there.
You gotta want to do it.
And in order to be willing to go there, that means you have to have looked yourself in the mirror and said, you know what, I got a problem.
Yeah.
And you have to face that. You have to face that problem head on.
Absolutely.
That's a monster. You got to punch that monster in the chin.
Yeah. Right in the nose.
Right in the nose.
A lot of people run from it, man, and a lot of times you don't overcome things until you deal with it head on. You know, I wasn't a better person until I fought my issues. I run from trying, different things in my life, but until I sat down and like, you know what, I'm gonna fight these things. I was able to overcome everything.
Right.
It's a lot of freedom in that, man.
Right, and that's what it's like being debt free almost. It's like, you got all this debt, and as soon as, I don't know if everybody's debt free yet, but when you get to that point, the feeling that you have, you don't have anything kind of holding you down or anything like that. You feel
now you can
free.
fly.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with the issues, man. All the issues I had because I created it and I didn't deal with it. I put a Band-Aid over it, but it didn't necessarily heal it, So a lot of times it take me taking the Band-Aid off and applying some Neosporin on it and taking care of it until it heals itself, not depending on this Band-Aid just to cover it up.
Right.
So that any issues I start, and that's how I deal with anything. I don't go to sleep mad. I don't go to sleep with the issues still. Right. I have to, and that's me.
Yep.
Whatever issues I have, I try to deal with it head on. If I can't deal with it head on, I'm gonna do whatever I can, or I'm gonna leave it to God. Right. Whatever I can't handle, I'm gonna let God handle.
Right. It take a real man to submit to yourself.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? And just kind of put yourself out the way and allow God to handle it.
Yeah.
People don't really believe that. People don't really believe if you give it to God that He'll handle it.
Well, people don't know how to do it either.
Yeah. That's real. Yeah. People don't know how to
we
let go of themselves.
We want to, but it's like, how do I do that?
Right.
It's a hard thing to give your issues of life that you see to somebody that
you don't see.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
That you don't see.
But when you allow yourself to trust what you don't see, that's faith. That's hope.
That's what
that's
it is.
That's the definition of it. So when you embrace the definition of it and don't worry about what it looked like and just do it, there's a lot of freedom in that.
Right.
It's a lot of weight lifted.
You spoke about getting out of debt. I got out of debt, then I accumulated a little bit more debt, so I got some more debt to get out of. But you talk about being free, and what you just said, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, during my entire debt-free journey, I gave it all to God. I didn't care about nothing else.
Right.
Didn't care because I knew He had me. I let Him have it. I didn't care what other people said about not going nowhere, about living like a hermit, because I knew what my end goal was.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. That right. End goal.
I knew exactly. Listen, it's not that I knew what I wanted. I knew exactly
what I wanted.
What I wanted.
Yeah.
It's hard to be stopped when you know exactly what you want.
But with life and with God, you have to be specific.
You have to be specific.
Yeah. Because if you're not specific with your money, with your wife, you might end up with somebody real ugly. But you got to be specific. Tell them what you want sometimes.
You're right, bro.
Know?
You're right.
Hey, it's funny because when I was working Riley Elementary School, man.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of the staff members over there, and I was talking about, she asked me if I had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have a girlfriend. And she said, why you ain't got no girlfriend? I just ain't got no girlfriend. I mean, I'm looking, though. He said, you been praying? I said, oh, I ain't been praying. I ain't even thinking about praying for it.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? That's what it takes.
Yeah, bro.
I started praying to God, and I told him specifically what I wanted. Yeah. Like, specifically what I wanted. And I got it.
Yeah.
I got exactly what I wanted.
That's how you do it.